I've been seeing this fun sleeve all over my social media, and I have to pattern draft it now. Hi, I'm Christina, and I love to digitally apparel pattern, creating unique pieces of wearable art. And I am so excited to draft this sleeve with a gathered hole in it to see how it will come out. If you enjoy videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see other fun tutorials on digital drafting. Let's dive on in. I'm going to bring up my Clo workspace. I already have my avatar here with her corresponding sloper that I am just going to be using. I'm only going to be manipulating the sleeve today, so I'm not going to be worrying too much about the rest of the dress. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and make this a short sleeve. So let's go ahead, split. We're going to go 2 inches. And on this side, we're going to do the same, 2 inches. Do a line across that we can then cut. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and move these 2 pattern pieces kind of just up and out of the way, and I'm going to archive them so I don't have to look at them. I don't have to worry about them falling on top of my girl later, or those pattern pieces just causing me some problems. The next thing is to actually put the circle in. So we're going to start by getting our internal lines. We're going to start with a 1 by 1. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, that's looking a little small. Let's see here. Ooh, yeah, I think that might be a little bit small. Let's double that. Let's go a 2 by 2. Yeah, I already like that a little bit better. So now I'm going to go ahead and place it. I'm going to move it down just a hair. Now, you could definitely go through and really measure everything. I'm not going to do that. Don't tell my teacher. We're just going to do an eyeball situation here and make it work since we're just kind of giving a test. Yeah, I think I'm liking that placement on her. Yeah. So next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut that pattern piece out and basically be converting it to a hole. And move it up and out of the way, and you can kind of see our hole's actually looking a little octagonal. So let's go over here to our particle distance and change that to 5. That should help. I must have changed that to 5. Yep. So I actually want to change the sleeve to 5. There we go. And you can see that smooths it right out. It's all about that particle distance and the mesh within Clo. So before I go too far, I am going to grab this other little guy, move those 2 pieces up to my other ones, and archive them. So again, they kind of get out of my way. Let's go ahead and simulate. That's the hole size we're looking for. That's the placement, just to give us kind of a rough idea of how it's going to look like in the end. And I'm liking that. I think I'm going to shorten the sleeve just a little bit, and then I'll add back on kind of like an inch cuff. So let's go ahead and offset as an internal line. We're going to go 1 inch. We're going to hit OK. And we're going to just have it get cut. I should have done a cut and sewn, but I didn't. And that's going to be our cuff. Not even going to worry about it. Done. Awesome. So the next thing I want to look at is I actually want to give myself a guideline to be sewing to, so I can sew the inside, or so I have 2 different points to this hole. Because if I was making it in this reality, I would probably have some sort of maybe elastic in there, or I might gather it with a string, or even if I had just a facing piece that I was gathering it down to through thread and I was just gathering it down, I still want that piece there. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting in a seam right there. And then we're going to offset internal, whoops, not that one. Offset internal line. There we go. 1 inch. No. We're going to do 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. We'll start with 1/8 of an inch. There we go. And now we're going to trace that. So we're going to click and hold shift as we move around. You can also, if you have like an internal line like this, you can also do a double click and it will grab the entire thing. Then I'm going to right click, trace as a pattern, click it out. Ooh, it only traced part of that. Let's give that a try again. Trace tool, click, 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 click. Trace as a pattern. Why are you only tracing one thing for me? That's not cool. Well, I can make this from this, but that is not the point. Okay, let's see here. We're going to put you down to 5. You're tracing out the inline, but you're not giving me an outer line. That's interesting. We're going to try it one more time with only doing the outside line. Trace as a pattern. And it gave it to me. As you can see, the particle distance did get reset up nice and high to 20, and we want to lower that. Click onto it, there it is, 25, there we go. Gets nice and smooth. Now the other thing that you are going to want to do is we can actually extend trim to pattern outline, and we're going to actually add a point. Oh, you did both. I didn't want you to do both. So we're just going to do that little guy right there. There we go. Because we're going to be cutting this guy apart, we want to make sure that we have that. So then we're going to do symmetric pattern with sewing. I'm going to move over to the other sleeve just so that they're kind of paired together, partnered together. It makes it easier in the long run. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move these guys up because I'm going to be doing quite a bit of slashing and spreading, and they're probably going to get overrun by the other patterns if I don't move them up. Let's move that guy up just a little bit more. Whoops. Just want to move him up. Okay, why are you not grabbing the whole pattern piece? There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to first cut this piece apart right here. And I'm actually going to undo that because I want to cut and sew it so that I don't have to worry about sewing it later. Now we're actually going to be doing a slash and spread. Now there's a couple different ways you can actually do this sleeve. You can do a slash and spread so that the cap stays basically the same size and there's no like gathering in or anything. Or you can do a slash and spread on both ends and have it see it both ways. And you know what? We can do one sleeve one way and the other sleeve the other way. So we will unlink them. Before I do that though, I want to get the markers on, so I'm actually doing the slash and spread in the same areas. So I'm going to start by putting some internal lines, and I'm just going to go ahead and go off of each one of these internal, if it'll pop to it, there we go. And we're just going to, That one's not quite at the right angle. Let's go back and fix this one. We want to move it that way. And there. And we're just going to kind of work our way all the way around. Definitely need to fix a few on that side. And I'm going to come in and fix this guy so that it's a little bit more even. Oops, I just want the one end. Pop that one up. So, yeah, I'm kind of liking that slash and spread area. Now before I actually go through and slash and spread, right now I have it happening on both my sleeves. I want to actually only do it on one or the other. So I'm going to remove linked editing so that we can kind of see the difference between the two. And we're going to start slashing and spreading. So I'm going to just use this point tool right here. And since I already have the lines, all I have to do is click and then right click. And I'm going to do 1.5 for the center part. And then I think I'm going to alter between an inch and an inch and a half. So we'll go 1 there, 1.5 there, ooh, that might get too much too fast. We'll have to see. Oops. It's gonna be a lot. We're gonna move down so that they're all ones. Because I think going the inch and a half is going to be too much. As much as I love because yeah, that's now. Whew, we might have to put a seam in the top to get it to go around our avatar nicely. So I did an inch, inch and a half. So I'm going to mimic it the same on the other side. So this one was 1. This one was 1.5. And the rest of them were 1. Whew, looking kind of like a crazy sleeve already because it's all on that one side. So this side is actually the gathered inside, and this side right here is the cap of the sleeve. This right here is actually the underarm. Yep. And here is the hem. And then this is that center front area. So we're going to smooth this out and see what happens. So we're going to just take this smoothing tool, and I am going to let it get like a little bit of ease in here, maybe. Oh, come on, let me click onto that. Let's try that again. Let's get clicked. Oops. There we go. This. Yeah, smooth that out here. We're going to go from here to here, smoothing this line. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same on the bottom here. Go from there to there, smoothing that line. Get it as close as we can. Love it. Then we're going to go this edge to this edge. Nope, it picked the wrong one. You want to always make sure that you're grabbing which one you want. Get a nice smooth there. And then we're going to go from here to here, tiny edge, get a nice smooth. And then last is that hem that's right there. It'll also be interesting to be able to get this on the avatar. We might have to put some seams in it just to get it to sew around, her arm. Because we have a very funky looking pattern right now. We're going to go ahead, change that from curved to flat. Come on, curved to flat. There we go. Okay, we're going to change it back to curved really fast, and we're going to offset that till it's kind of like that, and then we're going to have to do some twisting because that's the cap of the sleeve, that's the front, that's there. So, and then we're just going to have to kind of move it around. Hey, that actually might work. Impressive. We're going to give that a shot. We'll see. That may or may not work. But we're definitely going to give it a try. So before I do that, I would actually still need to sew everything. So I'm going to first highlight this bottom edge here. I'm not going to highlight this bottom edge here. I'm going to sew the bottom edge. So we're going to go down and around like that. We're going to start at the bottom. We want to go to the inner edge. We want to go all the way around like that. Oh, now I know where I was going. I want to set an internal line. Whoops. We're going to offset as an internal line, 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to also sew that internal line. So we're going to grab right there at that internal line. Staying on that internal line, and we're going to do the same thing all the way around like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually come over here and we're going to click on it and we're going to do a superimpose under. Well, it stretched it funny. We're gonna have to see if that's... I might have sewn the wrong thing to the wrong thing. We're gonna find out if I sewed the wrong thing to the wrong thing. But before we do, we're going to do that. And we have to think about this. So this is the underarm seam. So I think it's going to go here to here. I think. Should have done that before I did the slash and spread. Let's see. Is it going to be knotted? No. That, so I got the cuff right. I did not get this right. So we're going to go ahead and just delete. We're going to reset 3D selected. There we go. Okay, so now let me think about this, because this is the shoulder cap, yes. That should have been right. I wonder if I just did it the wrong way. We're going to no. Okay, now before I do the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a superimpose under. Okay, that's looking right. Then we're going to grab stitching line, do the same thing, going around the other way. Looking good, looking good. Okay, let's try it again. There we go, we have it. We have our cute little one-sided. So this is with it straight set in, no easing anywhere else. So before we get too crazy, now that we've gotten the one side, it is time to do the other side, where we're actually going to be gathering in as well around the actual sleeve as well as around the circle. So we're going to go back and start slashing and spreading. Oh, that's the wrong tool. Let's get on the right tool. There we go. We're going to do 1.5. 1.5, yep. And then we're going to go 1, 1. And then I'm also going to want to slash and spread this. I'm also going to do 1. So I'm going to do 1.5, 1, 1.5. And at the top I'm going to do 1 at each of them. I like that. So that one was 1. So now this one, 1.5. 1. 1.5. 1. And 1.5. Okay, and then that's the last one, because I'm going to leave it not gathering on the underarm or the hem. So now I've spread that one at the top, so I'm going to need to spread this one. 1. 1. 1.5. Ooh. Nope. Gotta love when you misclick. So we have our centerpiece right here. So I'm going to slash this one. 1.5. Whoops. That's supposed to be 1.5, I think. And 1. So there we have our other funky looking sleeve. And again, the circle's going in here. This is the cap. That's the underarm, and this is the hem. So we're going to smooth this out, and as I smooth this out, I'm also going to give myself just a little bit of lift, I think, to the cap up here. So I'm going to go from here to here on that guy, and we're going to give myself just a little bit of a lift as well, to give just a little bit more breathing room for those gathers and give it kind of a little bit of a smooth. Then the underarm, gonna go from here to here, which I might have decided that was a little bit too small. We'll have to see. We'll see how it goes. This side looks a little bit better. Maybe not. Small one, we're going to drag in like so. We're going to go ahead and we're going to see if I can do this in one go. Nope. Undo. We're going to do it in a couple of goes. So we're going to go from here to here. Do the smaller one, smooth that out. You can see it moving in that 3D window, and it's having a good time. Woo! Gotta love when it does funky stuff while you're working on it. Move that in. Okay, there we go. So, I still need to, we're going to smooth out the hem of the sleeve. Blend that in a little bit. And the other hem. There we go. Let's grab this guy and reset 3D arrangement. Move that down just a little bit. And then we're going to make that, oh no, we're going to keep it curved. We're going to change the offset. And then we're going to rotate it. So again, whoops, when you're rotating stuff like this, you want to make sure that the seams are going through as little of the avatar as possible. So we're going to continue to tilt that just a little bit. Bring it down so that we have the underarm sleeves, these purple ones going down underneath the arm. We have these ones going across the arm up here, and the rest of them are going with the arm. Perfect. So we're now going to do the offset line. So I'm going to click, hold shift, grab that. We're going to offset as an internal line. Perfect. Now we're going to sew. We're going to sew the outside one. Ooh, I clicked the wrong one. There we go. Do the inside. Go around. And then I am going to go find it in my 3D window. And we're going to superimpose under. If I hit focus, well, you kind of focused on it. But, well, at least it looks good. Looks right this time. So now we're going to do the same thing, except with that inner line. Make sure I get on it. We're going to go around that way. Like so. Still looks good. And then the last thing I need to make sure to do is I'm actually going to pull this, keep pulling it down a little bit. And we need to hem that to the sleeve. So, have to think about this one again. We're going to hem side to that side. And I'm pretty sure we're going to want to go that side, hold shift to that side. Looks good. Okay, let's give it a try. Spacebar, let's see how it goes. Woo! And it gathers in nicely. There we go. We got two options here. Got a gathered in one and a set in one. Now there's still a few tweaks that we're going to have to do to kind of make it look a little bit more, a little bit better, I guess, is what I'm going to go with. The first thing I want to do is I actually want to see what this pattern is doing. So right now the 2D length is set at 7.0 basically, but the 3D length is at 13. So it's actually almost double. So what I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn on elastic and I'm going to make that go to 100. So that actually is pulling it in. Whoops. Pulling it in and giving it the 2-inch shape that I want. I like that better. Let me make sure it did that on the other one. They should still be linked. Elastic on. Yeah, so we're good. Next thing, let's go ahead and change her pose just a little bit. Let's put her arms all the way down so we can kind of see what's going on. I love it so much. That is such a cute and fun sleeve. Ooh, not on simulating right now. The one thing I would wonder, let's go ahead and let's throw maybe some cotton. Not stretch. Let's just go with, let's go with cotton sateen. See what happens there. See if that can strengthen that up just a little bit more. Because I would love that hole to be a little bit more sturdy. That is the one thing that I am kind of hoping for. That it is not quite doing. Let's go ahead. Turn on those seam lines so we can kind of see what's going on. And let's see here. We're going to try a different cotton. We'll do a cotton poplin. Oh, let's get that to white. It's definitely, this one is a little bit more circular, but it's kind of going to come down to that finessing. I guess one thing I could do is, let's try strengthening that. Does that put it more into a perfect circle? Not quite. That's one thing. If you do want it that perfect circle, having some sort of hardware in there or something, I think is going to help pull that in. Let's see here. Did I need to strengthen the other one? Let's strengthen that one. And give it a test. Well, I'm kind of liking this one a little bit better that has the gathering in all the way around, more than this guy over here that just has a little bit of gathering. But I could see the pros and cons to doing either or. So I would really love to know, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the one that has more of the set-in sleeve with a few less gathers here? Or do you prefer this one that has gathers all around the sleeve cap as well as into that circle? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see other ways to digitally apparel pattern some other sassy sleeves, as well as some other fun, unique garments. I look forward to seeing you in some of my other videos. Happy patterning!